here. Okay, I'll try my best. Then I won't be the greenest person anymore, but kind of fallen over person. It's always nice to be back in the Philippines. This is my history. I'm a little village boy from Germany, close to nature, out there in the environment. This was just behind the house where I grew up in for 20 years. Now the quiz question to wake you up in the morning: which of these two guys is me? The one on the left, smaller guy, or the one on the right? The left, the younger one, this one. Yeah, good job, that's me. Those days my hair was still a bit more comprehensive, but we change over time. Every time I come to the Philippines, my old friend Chris, you know, he seems to be getting more and more prosperous. I see him expanding. It must be all this meriander at all of these good conferences, so it's always nice to, come back. And even though I live in Malaysia now, which is called My Second Home, they have this visa program, Malaysia My Second Home, always when I come to the Philippines, I feel a strong sense of home as well. I have to tell you, when I first was in the Philippines in '99, I did a training course on ISO 14001 in Los Baños, Laguna, and immediately I felt a strong connection with this country, with its people, the passion that you have. And as well, you know, the sometimes challenging way of life in the Philippines, but still a strong commitment to enjoying life, and as well passion for the environment. And that's where I connect with you very much. In those days I really felt the Filipinos have a passion for the environment, a passion for creation, a passion for, taking good care of it. And rather than being too technical today, I want to talk about hopefully our passion for the environment. Actually, I gave exactly the same presentation 3 months ago when I was keynote speaker at the same event in Kuala Lumpur, arranged by the British High Commission there. And I would like to thank the Philippine Green Building Council and the British Embassy here in Philippines to actually invite me over to join this event. So this is where I'm coming from when I grew up in Germany, and I think that's where some of my passion for the environment developed. This is where I live today, in the big city, my second home, Kuala Lumpur. And here is where maybe another link to this event comes along. This was the view out of my office about 10 years ago. Anyone an idea where this is? Actually, it reminds me, something big happened there last night, and I don't even know the result. Football, Old Trafford. What was the result last night? Man United, Man City. Yeah? Nobody knows? Wow. I have to go on the internet very, very soon after this. It reminded me, FA Cup semi-final, I think it was. Never mind. Next time I focus on basketball. I used to live in the UK for 10 years. I used to run a British company. I even started a UK company in Germany, but that's another story. I don't want to go into that. But my question for you this morning is, what is your connection to the natural environment out there? We're talking here about green buildings. We're in this community of wanting to make buildings in this country and on a global scale greener. Are we still tuned in with nature? Are we still connected to the beauty of nature out there, to the flowers, to the animals? This is Malaysia's national symbol, the hornbill. This was as well a picture I took in Malaysia. Actually, this monkey, but this is a joke that, again, will not mean so much in the Philippines. I always say this guy's got a David Beckham haircut. But maybe David Beckham's so famous that even in a country where soccer, football is not so popular, you know him, right? He used to have this thingy here in the middle, and I was amazed when I saw this monkey, so I had to make that link. This is a duck from Germany. This is back in my little village where I come from. And when I was a kid, That was what I did in winter after school. My uncle here, when I was very young, taking me out. This is back in Germany, the countryside, the flowers. I grew a little bit older. Wooden skis, that was my equipment. When I was a kid, I had 3 to 4 months snow without interruption. It was white. This is the current generation in my little village. Actually, this is a picture about 3 to 4 years ago, my brother's son and his friend playing outside, trying to work on loads of snow that fell overnight. But his problem is, his reality of the current generation 35 years later is different than the reality when I was in my little village in Germany 35 to 40 years ago. He has had, in the last 5 years, in most years, about 5 days that he could go skiing. Okay, this winter is very cold in Europe. He has had much more chance this winter to go skiing. But his average opportunity to go skiing has been roughly 5 days. My little village is 500 meters above sea level. We used to have 3 to 4 months snow white without interruption when I was a kid. Nowadays what happens? There's snow for a couple of days, sometimes huge amounts of snow, and then suddenly it disappears overnight. A lot of rain kicks in. That for me is the experience of climate change in my little village. Something is going on there. We had Copenhagen. Copenhagen didn't really deliver any strong results in terms of concrete action. Okay, we've got the Copenhagen Accord and we want to make something out of it, but the world was disappointed. And one of the things I feel is, it shows even more how we need to work as individuals. I sometimes make some videos for YouTube, and my New Year message to all of my friends was, let's all turn our own life into carbon sinks, because we have control over our own lives, over our daily consumption. Let's look at it from an individual point of view, what we can contribute, and then what can we contribute from a professional point of view, from within the organizations, the societies that we are working for, where we don't have total control, but where we have a substantial amount of influence. We are the community that's in the construction and building industry. We have a massive amount of influence. That's why BERDE is so important. That's why the Philippine Green Building Council is so important. That's why your role is so important to change the industry from inside.